Hi, my name is Ines Lopez, and in this video, I want to show you a way of organizing and delivering your projects, but also using elemental energies or feminine energy, in addition to traditional project management tools. Very often, I've seen throughout my career how when we get into organizing a project or defining a project, we go very specifically into very proven and successful tools and practices that are very interlinked to project management. And so, in a way, they are very structured and they are very masculine energy like. So, those tools are benefits maps, work breakdown structures, timelines, roles and responsibilities. And these things are absolutely fantastic. And they are absolutely a necessity when you want to deliver a project that is successful so that everyone can understand what they are doing, how they are going to do it, and when they are going to do it. But the life is not only about the masculine energy. We are not only about goals and drive and things like that, right? We are humans, and so we have emotions as well. A lot of the things that I have learned over the years, together with techniques for project management, have also been connected with personal development. And being able to grow as a human being has allowed me to become a better manager and organizing things from a different perspective. So, in that path, I've discovered how the elemental energies can help us with our personal situation, with our personal growth, and I also see how they can be of assistance for particular moments of a project. So by elemental energies, I'm sure that you know what I'm talking about: water, earth, fire, air, and ether. I also consider ether in this equation. I find that every energy, it is attuned to a very particular stage of a project. So I'm going to break down each stage of a project, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how the elemental energy can help with this. And in further videos, you will see more of a detailed breakdown and some more stuff about each of the stages and how all of this links up. When you are starting a project, the first step is organizing your vision, identifying what is it that you want to do. When you are doing this from a project management perspective, you are looking at your goals, objectives, the outcomes, the benefits. You are saying, okay, I want to go here, and this is my finish line, so to speak. And very useful tools to approach this with are creating benefits map. You can go as detailed on them as you want, but they are basically a trail of all the things that you want to deliver, connecting your outcomes. And as much as you can, you should look for key performance indicators, quantifiable measures that would allow you to understand whether you are actually meeting that objective and delivering what you are aiming to deliver or not. And this is where value management, benefits realization, and all that will link up during the process, and also benefits realization will link up afterwards. When you are looking into that vision, into that objective, the elemental energy that can help you the most is air. Why? Because with air, you are allowed to dream. Air is all about flowing and dreaming and visualizing, and meditation is very connected as well with the element of air. So when you are tapping into air and combining it with the objective of finding your vision and identifying it, it can be extremely powerful. And there are very easy ways of doing these connections with elemental energies, right? It could be that you do one meditation. This is what I often do. I meditate and I connect with the elemental of air through sacred geometry and other things, so that I can ask for assistance in that journey towards the vision. So that's the first step of a project. Once you have your vision, what you have to do is start giving it shape, giving it form, so that you understand, okay, this is where I want to be, but how am I going to make the steps? What is it that I have to do to be able to achieve that, right? If you look at it from a project management point of view, what you would do in this stage would be work breakdown structure. You might do a business case and all the different aspects of the business case. You basically start identifying the categories of activities and the activities that you have to do. This is actually the most intense planning stage of a project. So on top of doing your work breakdown structure, you are probably going to define your roles and responsibilities, meaning, okay, so these are the tasks that need to be done. Who is going to be doing what? What are the responsibilities of each person? How is the communication going to flow? You might develop some communication plans as well. You might also, most likely, do a timeline. I don't think any project manager would do a project without a timeline, whatever the level of detail that you want to do with your timeline, right? But that is like your master plan of, okay, these are all the things that are going to be done. This is the order. These are things that happen in parallel, and so on. So all of that, you are creating the structure, you are creating the bonds, you are bringing down that vision into the 3D. What element is absolutely fantastic for something like this? Well, Earth. Earth is all about structure. It's all about grounding ourselves. So with air, we are floating and we are going and chasing the vision, and we are sometimes up in the universe, right? And we are connecting with whatever we are up there with the ideas, and however and whatever they are. With earth, we bring them down. We root ourselves. Earth is all about being able to be confident, being able to feel safe. And those are also emotions that are very important if you are organizing a project, because keeping in check your safety, being able to trust yourself, to start trusting the team that is forming to be able to build this project, it would be really, really beneficial for you to manage the emotions and manage the energetic aspect of the project going forward. Once you have all of your structure, the next step is getting on with it and start working through it, right? You know what to do, so now it's time of doing it. So during this stage, which is execution, you are putting everything in motion. You have your timeline, you have your roles and responsibilities, you have your plans for communications, for stakeholder management, for all the things. And you start doing the things. You start, okay, do an activity, do another one, and so on. So all of this is about action. So execution is about moving things forward and taking action. And the best element for that is fire. Fire is all about the spark, the energy, the ability to have movement and energy, right? Energy to be able to progress and so forth. It's the light that shines the way. And it's also the ability of being able to do things with love. So if you are doing a project that, the objective is serving humanity in some shape or form, fire is going to also help you infuse all of that into your project. So execution goes with fire. The next step in this cycle of project management and life of a project, for me, is monitoring. On top of doing something, as a project manager or as the leader of the team, however you see yourself, when you have different people doing things, you also have to keep an eye on, okay, are things being done according to the baseline, according to everything that you defined during the concept stage, during that second stage with Earth? Are things progressing according to, do we need to change anything? You look at your timeline and you see any variation. But you also, if you are a manager with flexible skills and with the soft skills that are so absolutely essential to be successful in this arena of or in this field, you would also pay attention to emotions, to how is your team behaving, how is your team feeling, is the pressure being a lot? Are they communicating okay? Are they collaborating? If something hasn't done according to plan, how are you dealing with that, right? How have you created an environment for safety and also responsibility and accountability, so that people are up front whether something hasn't been done and the reason why, but also there is nothing like blame or stuff like that, because at the end of the day we are all humans and we learned really well from our mistakes. So we also need to, keep all those emotions in check. So all of that monitoring, all of that overseeing, and making sure that the oil is okay in all the joints of the project, that is water. Water is all about managing emotions, and for me, it goes particularly well with monitoring a project. When we are connected with water, when we have the water in the project balanced in a way, the emotions can flow in a healthy way. We can move through obstacles like water does. And that is a really, really beautiful thing to see when teams are able to fulfill that and work through that. So the final stage is closure of the project. So you have done all your stuff and you have achieved whatever the outcome. Obviously, during this stage of the project, you will compare, okay, so I had these benefits, I had these outcomes, I had these measurable objectives. How have I done? Sometimes you can do it straight away. Sometimes you have to wait for X amount of months for the outputs or all the work that you have done to truly grow and to truly deliver what it is intended, right? So that stage is called closure. You do your lessons learned, you evaluate, okay, what has gone right, what could have done better, what are we learning for the next time, or what, what knowledge can we pass on to someone that is doing a similar project? Maybe it's not ours, but maybe someone else in the team or in the company is going to do something similar. So that closure stage, which is almost like closing the circle, closing the cycle of the project, that is for me all about ether. So ether, it is a very interesting element. Some traditions do not talk much about it. The way that I perceive it is the space, the container where everything else lives. In terms of a project, when you are talking about closing the project and doing that round, almost it's like a round effect when you are doing that type of stage of a project. Ether gives you that. Ether is all about the balance. When I feel about it in the body, I feel sometimes it's like the border of the skin when it starts touching the rest, when it starts touching the air, like that boundary line. And so closing the project off is almost like giving it that packaging and that end, that final end. I hope you have liked this approach, which I think is fairly innovative, introducing and integrating the concepts of project management and project life cycles with elemental energies. And all of that came about because I feel there is a disparity or there is a separation when we are doing things in the environment of business world. It tends to be very masculine. Everything seems to be based on the normal metrics and goals and project management methodologies and so on. And that is what it is or it has been. But it feels to me that there is an opportunity to introduce the aspects of more feminine energies like personal growth, understanding that every human that is being part of a project is also a human on its own accord. And so being able to see each stage of the project in a more with hints of feminine energy, with the elements, with the opportunities that the elements bring for some emotions, because in each stage of the project, you also have particular emotions that are more important or that they are more at the forefront of what you are doing in that project. And so the elements can also help with that so that you can maximize the results and the project in itself. There's also another tendency, which is particularly big on certain types of industries or projects related, for example, like to personal growth, coaching, training, and so on, of going a lot with the feelings and doing things more on a feminine energy sort of approach. That is great, but we also need a structure when we are doing something, even when we are doing something without feelings. We are masculine and feminine energy. We have both, regardless of our gender or gender identity. And so trying to create something purely based on feminine energy is going to be harder than it should be, because the masculine energy can provide a structure, a container, and some sort of contention for that creativity. When you combine the two aspects, when you are able to see how to utilize project management tools with how to use feminine energy, the elementals, the emotions, and even self-awareness, it becomes a very powerful mix. You're integrating both sides of the existence in a way, and you're creating something that it will be wholesome and that it would be easier in a way because you will have more tools to be able to use. Over the next few videos, I will break down each of these aspects and stages to give you more info and to give you some tips and tools that you can use so that you can start applying this approach to whatever you are creating. Thank you for watching.